Right guys, so I thought I'd make this little video this morning to show you what I keep in my gym bag and speak about some of the items I've got in there. So first out of the bag are my lifting shoes. These are Adidas Adipals. I've had these a good couple of years now. And being honest, I probably will never feel the need to properly replace these unless I get the urge to change colour scheme or whatever else. Once you've bought yourself a good pair of lifting shoes, they should stay with you for life. What the lifting shoes offer you as a benefit, they'll offer your foot a lot of stability when it comes to bilateral movements, particularly squatting and any variations of Olympic lifts and so on and so forth. They've got an elevated heel which offers people who are quite restricted through their ankles a little bit more mobility to allow them to get into slightly deeper positions. And obviously you can tighten yourself up with Velcro straps that will form a nice brace across the top of your foot, so that you shouldn't get a lot of rolling inside or out when it comes to moving your lower body, which offers you a great platform to be able to build some great squat mechanics from. To be honest, they're probably the best purchase I've ever made with regards to gym equipment. Anybody who's getting semi-serious or on the serious side of the lifting, I would definitely urge you to buy a pair. I think that most people would see maybe not an initial benefit, but definitely over the long term. I think a good pair of lifting shoes would offer you significant benefits. So that's the first item out of the bag. Second item, now these are quite a recent purchase for me. I bought some knee sleeves. So at the moment my training involves a lot of kind of bilateral squats and ollie lifts and front squats and whatever else. So the knee sleeves, I haven't become too over reliant on them yet, but they're just going to offer me a little bit more stability around my knee for when I go to my heavy sets or my top sets or whatever I've got for the day. As I said, I'm trying not to become too over reliant on them. I'll only kind of pull them up and use them for my heavy sets, but I think they're going to be quite a useful addition. These are Ray-Ban ones, but I think there are other brands out there, SBDs and whatever else, but they should offer you significantly more stability around your knee. It takes a bit of time to get used to them because it's quite an odd feeling when you first put them on, but I think they're going to be a worthwhile benefit as well. Next item out of the bag, just a standard dip belt. So if I want to know that I can, if I'm going to do some weighted chin-ups or dips or whatever else, get yourself a decent quality dipping belt, chuck it in your bag, and then you know it's always there, because not every commercial gym has these to hand, and it's always better having your own equipment as well, because obviously you can buy based on preferences and whatever else. But heavy chins, heavy dips, that's a useful addition. Pretty bog standard, just lifting chalk. I prefer the dry stuff as opposed to the liquid stuff, but I've always got that in my bag. And yeah, I mean, grip more often than not is the first thing that goes out with a lot of lifts, and obviously we want to dry the hands off as well, and we want to dry it of any moisture, especially when you're going into ollie lifts and stuff like that. Magnesium chalk, definitely a useful addition. Little thing, but a big thing that I think most people would benefit from massively, just a training log. Nothing elaborate, it's a notepad and it's a pen. It just allows me to write down so that I don't forget what I've lifted in that session, and it's a great way and the most inexpensive way of being able to track training volume and being able to progress that over time. So simple notepad and pen. Make sure everyone's got one of those. Wrist straps. So again, like the knee wraps, I won't use these too many times apart from when I feel it's absolutely necessary. Heavy sets of bench, overhead press, if I'm doing jerks, whatever. Yeah, useful addition, but I try not to become too over reliant on them. I wouldn't really use them for dumbbell work or anything like that, but yeah, a bit of increased stability for your wrists, useful addition. Okay, so next out of the bag is this little tripod thing. I use this to get some video footage that not only I can put up on social media for you guys to look at what I do in the gym, but also as a bit of a feedback tool for me. That's why I use lots of video feedback in my own lifting, is that I can have a look at what's going on in my own lift. The camera never lies after all. So this little thing is really cool because you can manipulate it into pretty much any position and clamp it onto something. so that you can take some footage in the gym. So not an absolute purchase or an essential purchase, but it's a useful thing, especially if you want to start reviewing your own lifts and kind of having a look at what's going right or wrong with them. But yeah, this little thing. Some mini bands, so nothing major. These cost a couple of quid. I think you can get them from Amazon or whatever else, but they come in different tensions, so all the way from yellow, green, blue and black. But I use these drills if I'm doing any warm-up drill or mini band drill, so glute work or I don't know, shoulder work or whatever I need to do. To be honest, I don't really use them all that much, but they're in my bag anyway. Headphones, because most music in commercial gyms is pretty crap, and sometimes I just don't want to speak to too many people, so I'll slap these on and just keep out of people's way and get on with my stuff. Pulling straps, so again, like, I won't become too over reliant on them, especially when I'm doing deadlifts. In fact, I don't really use them when I'm doing deadlifts, but any Olympic lifting pulling movement, so clean pulls, high pulls, snatch pulls, whatever. Again, I won't really use them when I'm doing upper body rows. I prefer to kind of just go double overhand and see how long my grip lasts and try and get some grip improvements that way. But decent addition if you're doing lots of pulls and stuff like that. And the last thing is this little thing, so it's just micro porous tape, I think it's called. Since I've increased my volume of ollie lifts, obviously my hands get torn to shreds a little bit, especially on bad quality bars. So if you open up little cuts or calluses, then you can tape those up and just hopefully crack on. But yeah, hand care when you do ollie lifts is kind of key, because especially if you go straight into them on pretty crap bars, your hands are going to get cut up, and yeah, it's going to be a pretty painful experience, especially when you start using hook grip and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty inexpensive thing, like a 50p a roll or something like that. There we have it, guys. That's what's in my bag. There's a fair bit in there, I know, but it's all, it stays in there. It doesn't leave. The lifting shoes I'll always wear. They're probably the most consistent thing I'll take out the bag and use the most. But everything else isn't necessarily essential. They're just useful bits of kit to have. But there you have it. That's what's in my bag. Leave some comments below about what additional stuff you might have, or what you would look to buy instead, and let me know. Cheers, guys. Stay strong.